Violet Voss, my guest tonight. You know where you can find her, at Violet Voss XO. Violet, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Now, there are two types of women in the world that I cannot make laugh and generally hate my guts, okay? The first of those two are medical professionals. They just don't like me. They don't find me funny. I try and crack a joke when I'm around them or whatever. I get nothing. I get zero. The other type of women that just hate my guts, it seems, are femdoms, which I would like to get into with you at some point. But can I start with my just initial question, boring, typical, how it always starts? How did you initially decide to get into whatever aspect of the industry you first got into? Was it modeling first? Was it, the websites? What was it? Talk me through it.
Sure. Yeah, it was modeling. I had been modeling previously, not particularly like adult work, just like fashion modeling, which I did throughout like high school as a hobby. And then like throughout my kind of early adult years, I did it as well. Just it was more like a weekend hobby for me while I still had my full-time job. But, things didn't work out with my job. I was in the real estate industry. And after about 5 years, I decided like that it's just not like fulfilling me the way that I had thought it would. So I kind of had this epiphany that modeling, I could do it as a full-time job as an independent model. So I decided, what the heck, I'll give it a try and see if I can actually make a living from being an independent model. And I did. And that's kind of how I originally got started.
So I had a cousin who did modeling. Like, that was the big talk of the family when we were little. Like, oh, do you know this person got invited to Barbizon? Was it Barbizon? Was that one of the modeling agencies? Okay, whatever it is. I never saw her in a Sears catalog, so I'm just assuming my cousin never made the cut. Did somebody approach you? Were you recognized to just like, this teenager is gorgeous, she's a beautiful girl, she'd be a great model? Did you have features that people look for? Like, are you a taller girl? Do you have long legs? Whatever it is that they look for. Mm-hmm. Or did you like apply to one of those things and you were like the LeBron James of that modeling camp and they put you up to the top?
I definitely was approached as a younger, I guess my younger teenage years, you could say. Not even by, I think, people that were in the industry, just people that thought I should be a model, like people that lived in my town. And I got that a lot. And I actually went to my parents and said, like, that's something I would be interested in doing. But they're like, basically they were like, no. You have all these other extracurricular activities going on, so you kind of have to pick and choose. So I chose sports and other activities besides going into modeling. But later on as a teenager, once I decided to like put a halt to all those activities, I started modeling from like my own little blog. I had like a fashion blog, but I never actually signed with an agency and I never did like any campaigns. I think I definitely could have had that been my choice, but no, it was not. So yeah, I've done everything independent since then.
And then you said the full-time job you had when you were modeling a little later on was was that real estate? You were doing real estate?
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you think you liked real estate, or did you just think you could be successful at it? Or over here you're doing modeling. You've been doing modeling for years. My first thought is that sounds awesome. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. My first thought would be like, yo, let's make this career. Now, that's probably why I'm a podcaster at the age I am, but I gotta laugh, say. Was there, did you just get bored of the real estate? Was it just a bad market at the time and you decided, hey, fuck it, let's make this full on modeling? Or, what was your situation there? What was like the turning point where you were like, fuck this, I'm not selling houses anymore?
Yeah, like it was actually like when I was a kid, I knew like the first job I ever wanted to do was be a model. But like once I kind of like came to the realization, like the type of model I wanted to be probably wasn't going to happen, then it transitioned into wanting to be a real estate broker. And I had my sights set on that for like years. It just didn't pan out the way I thought. I was in it for 5 years. I did property management first and then got into the sales side. But I think the turning point for me was it was hard to like get solid list of clients and like work with people because I was so young. Like they didn't take me seriously. You know, this is like the biggest purchase of most people's life. So like, how am I going to sit there and take a 20-year-old that looks like this seriously? So that was some issues that I faced. Plus, it was around the time of the pandemic. So the company I was with had a massive layoff and I was a part of it. So that kind of like got me to the point of being like, okay, they've decided to lay me off. I wasn't feeling it for a while. So is this what I want to continue or do I want to pivot?
It's always about the pivot in life. I mean, that's how we find the direction we're supposed to be going in, is we head down the wrong one and go in a different way. So how, and congratulations to you for making that jump, and it appears being quite successful with it. When was the first time when did it go from modeling to nudity? Did you start the OnlyFans? Did you, or were you approached to take that next step? And did you have any reservations about that? Did you think like, I don't know if I want to do this? Did you dip your toe? Sorry, I always give too many answers at the beginning. Here, which one of those is yours?
Yeah, when I did modeling, like right off the bat, just because, you know, being in my early 20s, like, you know, trying to make a career as a fashion model at that point isn't like great, especially as an independent model. So a lot of the like photographers that I was in contact with that would hire me were like, this is what I want. Most of them did want nudity. Definitely was like a little shocking to me. Like I knew like that was probably going to come. But I was like, well, I feel like the only way I'm really going to make a good amount of money doing it is by getting naked. And so that was like pretty much right off the bat. And at the same time, I started an OnlyFans. I don't know why I decided to do like a faceless OnlyFans, because I think there was some part of me that thought I may go back into real estate or a different career path. So like worst case scenario, I can take it off my account off the internet and my face was never there. But that didn't work out very long. I think I did that like 2 months and then, you know, I had to start showing my face and all of that.
Can I tell you a crazy misconception that I heard from two separate people over the last 2 nights that I've done interviews? Mm-hmm. Both, one a major mainstream girl and one a up-and-coming girl that's just getting started. Both of them thought that OnlyFans was just a modeling website where you could just put your modeling pictures up. And both of them were contacted by a guy, not the same guy. That would be fucking really weird. Both of them contacted by guys, and they were like, where are your videos? And they were like, what do you mean, where are the video? What are videos? What am I posting? I'm just posting my modeling pictures. Did you have any misconceptions about that, or did you know how far OnlyFans would have to go to become as successful as you had hoped it was going to be?
Oh, yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought I can post some bikini pictures and like I can sell like just photos of my titties if I'm going to for an extreme amount of money. But like that's not the case. But actually, I think my story was different. Was I was posting all the lingerie photos and whatever, but obviously couldn't see my face right off the bat. So a lot of people found me because they thought I was a previous porn star that was also named Violet Voss that is no longer in the industry. So they're asking for like content that they thought that Violet Voss would have. And I was like, what do you mean?
Don't you remember that 7-guy gangbang you did? And you're like, no, not quite.
Yeah, and that's when I found out there was another porn star with my name, but also like, oh, So this is what OnlyFans is. And then I started like doing a deep dive as to how some of these creators make that much money, and it all started to make sense.
And then, can I ask, did you go to college for anything?
I did for a year before I was kicked out of college.
Hey, we've all been there. What was your major or whatever you were studying?
Finance.
Okay, finance is good for this too. I've been talking to girls lately. Any of the new girls who come on and they're like, what would I do to really get in, blah, blah, blah. My suggestion is fucking take a marketing class at your local community college and learn how to edit on Final Cut. Like, I mean, my theory is that, and this is no judgment, but I'm just going to throw numbers out there. A 7 out of 10 who really, really, really knows the algorithm, knows how to edit, knows this and that, can make a lot more money than a 10 in this industry if I don't really like using social media that much, and I'll just be hot. Is that accurate, you think?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I've even seen it myself time and time again. Like, marketing is key in this industry. It's something I continually am learning as well, because it's like, yeah, I don't love posting on social media all the time, for example, but it's like you have to stay consistent because that's the only way you're actually going to be able to sell things on, these pay sites or, build your brand. So marketing is everything, even in the adult industry.
I would say it's 95% of working in porn is not shooting porn. You're shooting this much porn and then all of the post-production, blah, 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 blah. Do you have people that work on those things for you in terms of editing, or is that something you had to like jump into? Like, are you loading footage into your computer and like, cutting it up, or did you find someone that you're like, he'll cut it up? That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I did do everything by myself, but, I became very spread thin. So now I have a full-time video editor. I have a business manager that helps me with like all the back end stuff, accounting and all the stuff that, I don't want to deal with, just so I can get out there and create and shoot. So yeah, like I think it's really important as well, like to up level your success in the industry, to have help. It's like I hired a publicist, I have agents to help book shoots. So like all of those things are really important and vital to success, in my opinion.
Sure. Do you remember what your first mainstream type of shoot was?
Yeah, and porn, yes, because it was fairly recent. I think it was December, yeah.
Okay. Did all of your modeling experience prior to that make it a little easier to step on the set, or is this a whole different arena? Is this like being the best basketball player in the world and you're stepping on a football field now?
Yeah, it was, it didn't hurt to have the previous modeling experience. Like, I'm someone that's really confident in front of the camera and that generally knows my best angles and things like that. So, like, that portion I had down, because apparently there is a big fear of, like, performing in front of the camera. And that really didn't occur for me. But everything else, like pre and post production was new to me, because there's a lot more aspects that go into filming a production like a pornographic film versus just modeling for some amateur photographer on modeling.
Sure. Now, did you point out to any of your directors, or have you been there yet, where they're like, okay, turn to your left, and you're like, oh no, my right side's actually my best side, just so you know? Like, I assume most girls come into it just kind of, I'll just listen to whatever you say. Like, the girls who come in without that experience and who think like, I'm gonna fucking get paid and it's gonna rule. I assume it's just turn this way, turn that way, you do this. Are you adding any input? Like, I really do look better from this side, blah blah blah, or I prefer it. Do you if you have, do the people on set appreciate that, or are they a little bit like, all right, Violet, you can quiet down over there, you're good, we got it?
Actually, most of the time, most of the shoots I've had, they actually like look at me and they're like, well, you're the model, so like you tell us what you want to do, really. Like, this is what we need. Obviously, like, you've got to get the pretty girl pictures before you film the porno. And, they are always very like open to suggestions or whatever. So I never really have an issue. Hell, a lot of the times they're like, what is your best side? And we'll shoot that side. So I don't ever really have to even put in my input because they're already asking for it anyway, which I appreciate. I think it's great.
I'd be such a shitty hot girl. I would be like, are you directing? You fucking do it. You pick the best angle. And if it's not good, I'm going to blast you online about it.
Sometimes I am like that. Like, just tell me what to do at this point. Like, I've been shooting for 10 days in a row. So.
Sure. My normal line of questioning on these shows are more like, do you like this? What are some kinks or fetishes you're interested in? Blah, 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 blah. But would you mind if we touched on a little bit of the femdom stuff?
Of course. I love talking femdom.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's run through all the basic ignorant, I'm a dumb caveman questions. Does that mean you hate men?
No.
Okay, all right. And I like your response was, you were a little bit annoyed, I felt like, with me. Like, oh, this guy's stupid. He doesn't get it. That's just a role I'm playing. I have 160 IQ. So it doesn't mean you hate men. What do you like about femdom so much? What does it bring you pleasure, or are you maybe just very good at it and that's why you do it?
I feel like it definitely came naturally once I started to, participate in femdom activities, but I really enjoy the exchange of power and yes, I generally dominate men, and it's not, again, because you dislike men,
Sure.
but they are willingly handing over their power to you, like on a platter. And there's something like that I just can't describe about the feeling of almost like you have this person in the palm of your hand. Now, what are you going to do with them? And so to me, it's always been about the power exchange and how exhilarating that is.
I won't ask you names, obviously, and I don't have any to point out to you as examples. But are there too many girls in the industry that try femdom stuff, but maybe aren't as good at it, or maybe not quite their natural personality's not suited for it? I'll tell you what, every new girl I interview who's trying to get into this industry all says, like, I definitely want to do like femdom and pay pig stuff. And my first thought, no offense, is, okay, so you don't want to take your clothes off, you want guys to send you a bunch of money. Done correctly, done with somebody with experience, I understand the fantasy of that. But is there people who this is now a buzzword and they're trying to grab onto it a little too quickly without knowing the background?
For sure. I mean, people in the industry and not in the industry. I know a lot of girls that, like you said, don't really probably have the personality to really understand. And it tells you everything you need to know. They don't understand the difference between femdom and findom. Financial domination, findom, is a specific fetish, a very niche fetish of female domination. And they think that that's what femdom is about, is pay pigs. It's like, that's such a small aspect of being a femdom that, if you don't even understand the difference of that, then you probably shouldn't be engaging in it, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I've even had like people outside of this industry, like my hairdresser, like I guess the financial domination and pay pigs has become a super popular topic on like TikTok. And she's like, well, like she knows I was a findom or dominatrix. She's like, well, I would like to do that as like a side hustle. That's what they're basically pitching it as on social media, is it's not sex work. It's a way to be fully dressed and take money. And it's like, it's not even that. It's not even close to that.
So femdom is the larger one. Findom is a portion of that. That's like you have to be an underwater welder level of like technicality, it feels like to me. Like you have to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just going to ask a guy for money and he's going to be like, hey, fuck you. And then you feel foolish, I assume, like silly about it.
Yeah.
So femdom, you said dominatrix stuff. Have you ever done in real life like dominatrix stuff, or is it all digital through everything?
Yeah, so I had a dungeon for about 2 years, and I just recently shut that down. But I still do in-person sessions. I'm just traveling so much now for filming, porn that basically like after I'm done for the day, like I open up times for my clients to do like dominatrix sessions. So yeah, I still do in-persons and I've been doing them, and there's definitely something fascinating about dominating someone in person versus online. And again, it's something you can't really like explain when someone's there in person, but yeah, I think it's something I'll always do as long as I'm in the industry. But I am very particular about who I do in persons with at this point.
Any idea, and you may not know, where that stems from in you? Did you get bullied as a kid and now you're just like, fuck the world, I'm gonna burn it down, tie you up one guy at a time? Or, are you just kind of, I could tell you I would try and do that. One, because I would be the lazy girl that I told you at the beginning. I would just expect everyone paying me money, send me money, blah, blah, blah. Then I'd reassess and be like, why do I want to do this? And for me, it would be like, I'm not naturally a dominant person. I'm not even a sub either. I really have no classification, I kind of feel like. I just go with the wind. But if I was doing that, I would probably, a lot of it would come from anger for me. Like, let's really whip this guy because fucking some guy pulled my hair when I was a kid. Explain to me why it's not from that, maybe. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you got beat up. And if you did, I apologize. Not that I did it. Does that come from that from you? Does it come from, again, you get a sexual gratification out of being able to control these people? Does that ever bleed over into other aspects of your life where you need to be in control of stuff? Tell me about domination and your view on it.
Honestly, from because I'm really into the psychological aspect of BDSM. So for me, I feel like it stems from, I just remember, and I don't even know where it came from. Like I was the troublemaker in school, and I would bully boys. Like I would pick out boys in class I didn't like, and I would bully them. And I don't know why. It was just because my parents were fine, and there was no I wasn't hating towards my parents, and I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it was so that went on for a long time. And I even had to switch schools at one point because I was such a terror. But I think a lot of it, being able to dominate men stems easily from that. But at this point in life, yeah, there is sexual gratification from it. I just get mentally stimulated. But yes, it is, I can't deny that I don't get turned on draining a pay pig or, not necessarily beating someone to death. That's a different type, not to death, but to
death. Yeah, well, yeah.
Beating someone. Just I've never done that. I'm not a murderer. Oh my God, we're gonna cut that out.
Can I tell you the most fucked up part out of everything you said right there? And it's not the beating to death part. It's actually those boys went home and cried and said, Violet Voss, whatever your real name is, Violet Voss beat me up at school today. And their parents went, that just means she has a crush on you. You know that, right? But you said you didn't have a crush on the guys. You picked a guy and went, fuck him. I'm going to beat him to death.
Pretty much, yeah. I was very...
Now, there's got to be guys going around who are like, I went to elementary school with her and she picked on me. I could have dated her. No, you could have got your ass kicked if a teacher didn't step in. Right.
Yeah, there's definitely that.
All right. So what about I almost said straight porn as if it's there's classifications. I guess there's kink and this and that, but moving into straight porn, are you naturally a dominant person though? Like in real life?
I am. I'm definitely just more reserved though. If you see me out in public, yes, you'll definitely feel the dominant energy, but I'm not gonna come on to anyone, and I'm generally just more reserved, and that comes out when it needs to.
But what if I was a shitty waiter to you? Then would you be like, hey, get your shit together? Would you call me out on it?
It depends on my mood. Yes, I do call people out, but most of the time I'm actually a very understanding person too. So I have I'm very empathetic, we'll say that. So there's part of like that's like part of my like heartstrings because like sometimes yes, I just kind of want to be like very blunt and dominant, but also sometimes I'm like, okay, well maybe they're just having a bad day. Like these things happen. So it just depends on my mood. This is, that's the female rage, I guess. But yeah.
So when you're shooting a mainstream scene where you're maybe not gonna be the dominant one there, do you have to like tone your natural dominance down, or can you just kind of go? It sounds like you can kind of just go with the flow with whatever the situation is.
Yeah, I'm really like easygoing in that sense, and at the end of the day, yes, it's an acting job, so it's unless it's an extreme, like, submissive role that they have me playing, which normally I'm not going to do something that extreme, then yeah, it's really easy. For me, like, yeah, part of me does like being submissive, with my, like, partner, like, I prefer my husband to be the more dominant one, like in our relationship. So in porn, it's easy because that switch can easily be turned on. Like, yeah, the man takes control in the bedroom. Like, that's pretty easy for me to get on board with.
Okay. All right. We're going to do a thing I like to call stat check. Now, you were going to say this. I'm going to throw this out at you, and you're going to go, nope, that's entirely wrong. That's inaccurate. It's off. I understand that. It's not updated well. We are using the Internet Adult Film Database here. We're just going to run through some of the stats you have, and when you come back on a year from now and you're drowning in AVN awards and you're like giving them away to mailmen that come to your fucking house, here, take this one, best anal, whatever it is. That way we'll be able to compare it and be like, wow, look at the growth we've had in this time. So, stat check, I have 16 scenes worked with 5 guys, 1 girl, 1 AVN nomination, no awards yet, but we're working on that. Let me ask you this. What does the Bang Bus smell like?
Dirty. I did not really want to film in there, but like, it's iconic. So
right.
Definitely have shot many more scenes than that.
Sure.
Between like
always, every time.
Now.
Sure,
but, yeah.
Totally. I get it. They don't count certain websites. Like, it's good. We'll just use it as the stat check from there. But every time I warn girls too. I go, look, it's going to be totally off. And they go, okay, no problem. And then I throw it out and they go, that's totally off, I go, yeah, no, yeah. I know. I get
right.
it. Would you say, see, and in my questions here, I have this word written. This is how polite I am, okay? Were you always promiscuous before you got into porn? Is the question. But that's like I don't want to be one of those guys who's like, so were you always like real slutty or whatever? Like, did you have a lot of sexual experience getting into this, or was this a huge jump for you?
Yes, a lot of sexual experience. I was a slut in college. I can say that. That was my first go at it. So I went, pretty crazy. But so, yeah, I definitely was well experienced prior to porn.
Okay. All right. Now, has porn made you more or less promiscuous?
Less, probably.
Sure.
That's all I'm doing. When I come home, I'm like, just pour me a glass of wine and let me chill. Like, I don't need to be promiscuous anymore.
I'd like to please just sit on this bag of frozen peas for a while. Okay. Yeah. If you could just give me a minute. Okay. Have you had any sexual firsts in porn? Anything you didn't do beforehand that you like did for the first time in porn? And how did that, was it exciting? Maybe the answer is no, so I shouldn't run through all the different scenarios if it's no.
Yes, I would say the biggest like sexual first was a DP scene with 2 guys, obviously. That was very interesting. Yeah.
I'm hard pressed to ask, but interesting in what way? Did you just Were you like, wow, I didn't know my body could bend in that way? Were you impressed with men in their ability to maneuver everything correctly?
Like interested, very impressed with how they were able to maneuver themselves inside of me. Sure. But then, it was definitely like, oh, there we go. Like I can feel that one for sure.
Now, have you done any? So that was a DP. Have you done any dual? I don't know how you say this. Two in the same hole.
Oh yeah, I guess I was wrong. Yes, it was two in the same hole because I don't do anal.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
Was dual in the vagina.
Now, okay. I've also interviewed women before who've done 3. I have a question for you. The guy in the middle is just coming based on the 2 dicks surrounding him, right?
Yeah, at that point, like, are you really feeling any pussy, sir?
No, you're just fucking dicks, sir. And you know what? Congrats to you for being comfortable with your sexuality to do that.
Exactly.
There you go. Congrats.
Very, very congrats. Convince yourself you're fucking a woman, but you're not.
Yeah, it's, hey, it's not for me, but my thing is, and I've said this a million times, as long as there's no dog or kid in the room, I'm totally fine with whatever anyone wants to do. Your choice, as long as everyone's cool with it, run along with it. Let me get back to some of these. Are there any kinks or fetishes that you only learned you liked from being in this industry?
Well, yeah, I mean, I pretty much learned about the whole fetish of female domination. I didn't even know that was a fetish, really, prior to getting into the industry. So a whole bunch of kinks and, like, I guess fetishes for me came from learning all the niche-y little kinks and fetishes within that. But yeah, I would say that was my biggest thing, because I didn't even know that was a world that existed.
Now, my next question is the inverse of that. And you already said anal. Is there any kinks or fetishes you have zero, maybe not anal permanently, we'll clarify that, but any kinks or fetishes you have no interest in pursuing in this industry? Where someone will be like, you know, Violet, you could really make a ton of money getting your feet pissed on, and you're just like, no, ain't for me. That's not it. Is there anything like that?
Really just my limits come from the dominatrix stuff. Like, I do golden showers, but I don't receive them. Like, it's mainly like a part of the power play. Like, at this point in my life, I'm not going to participate in being bound anymore. I was a bondage model for a long time and learned I really don't like that. So I really don't want to be like tied up anymore and any type of bondage. You
don't like that because it's uncomfortable for you, or because it's against your brain now? Okay.
It's physically it's become physically like painful to my body, and my body doesn't tolerate pain well. So.
Well, then that takes us back to the previous question. So anal off the table completely. Anal something we may look into in the future. Is it a pain issue? Is it a degradation issue that you don't like? What is the idea between the relationship you have with anal, which is the most clinical way I can put that?
Right. It's definitely a pain thing for me. Like, if I could figure a way to get rid of that, I would totally do it, but it's just it's very uncomfortable for me.
Interesting.
So like I said, if there's a way that I can find to participate in it that works for my body, it's not 100% off the table, but I mean, it's mainly off the table because of that.
I don't know. I have a lot of listeners right now with 4-inch dicks, just so you know. Just so you know. I'm just kidding, boys. You know I'm with you. Let's talk about the content you do make for your OnlyFans, your own personal stuff. What type of stuff do your fans want that you want to make more of, and what type of stuff do your fans want that you're just kind of like, yo, stop requesting that? Like, you don't say it, maybe you make the videos, maybe do whatever, but you just wish a request for something would stop coming in. Is there anything you want to say to the audience now that hey, if we could just, she doesn't love this, maybe request this instead.
There are a lot of anal requests.
Okay.
So that would be nice to get rid of, but I understand. No, I mean, I make both my own like female domination clips. Those are all like solo point of view, and those sell really well for me. And I've got a whole fan base just that love my dominatrix work. And then I have almost this separate fan base that likes all my porn. So yeah, I would say really it's just anal at this point. A lot of breeding requests, which is not my favorite to make, but in the right scenario for like custom videos and stuff, I'll do it.
How come it's not your favorite?
I'm not turned on by that. No, it makes me cringe. Like every time I'm like, impregnate me, like, ugh. I get a little like throw up in my mouth.
So folks, you can request it, but just know she's gonna make that face as you request it as she's reading it. Ugh.
No, I have a very good poker face. Like this is why I'm a great actress. You'll never know that I hate it.
Are you a great actress, or do you consider yourself a great actress? I'll be the judge of that when I watch your videos later tonight.
I know, right?
Isn't it funny you've gone full circle? You were selling as a real estate agent, and now at some point, inevitably, someone will come to you and go, Violet, we want you to play a real estate agent in this.
Oh,
and you gotta say, yeah. What are you going to get stuck behind? Is it the dishwasher? Is it the stove? Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want to pitch you an idea. I've pitched this the last couple nights for a series, and I want to know if you think this would work. Stationary mounted cameras up high, down low, set it up like a nanny cam, obviously. We don't like including anything with kids, but like just for the scenario of it, a nanny cam. And it's like an Airbnb situation where the people know they're not supposed to fuck because there's cameras all over this house, but they just can't stop themselves. And that's the scene. I would call it, I named it this last night, Air TNA, like Airbnb, but TNA. What do you think of this scenario? Have you seen it before? Am I stealing it from someone, or can we copyright it right now?
Yeah, I have never seen that done before, so I think it's a great idea. I mean, people love seeing that stuff. So many like voyeurs out there. I mean, aren't we all? But so I feel like that adds to that effect. So for sure, do it.
Okay. Now. I'm not going to do it. I don't know anyone hot enough to be in it. If it was all my friends, it would just be like a monster fest. I'm not interested. You seem, very intelligent, very driven, very this and that. Do you have plateaus you want to hit over the next few years? Is it strictly monetary? Which, by the way, all the questions I'm going to ask, there's literally nothing wrong. If a girl came on here and said, I want to make $1 million and be out of this fucking industry, I would be like, go for it. Do it. Do you have goals you want to hit over the next few years? And then also, do you have a long-term goal that you want to get to?
Yeah, obviously, given that this is my career, there are always going to be monetary goals for me. And every year, like I up those for myself. There's not like a set monetary goal though. As long as my income is growing and flowing, I'm happy. But yeah, I would say a lot of it is based on just my overall success and fame in the industry. I would love to get more nominations, win some awards. That would be incredible. And so that's really where it is for me at this point. And that's a big reason that I got into porn. Is to like grow my brand name in the industry, and hopefully one day be recognized as a well-known person or legend or whatever.
Legend is a whole nother level.
Legacy, legacy.
Legacy. You want your legacy. Now, you said this early on though, because I growing up when I had seen footage from the other Violet Voss. When you learned that, did you have any? Like, did you think, fuck, should I change this at all? Or did you think it was kind of good? Like maybe they'll look for that name out of the industry. No, it's not like you're stealing someone's name. And then, they'll come across you. That's great too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. She had been out of the industry for a while from what I saw, so it was like, no harm, no foul. If they search for her, they're going to find me. And if they like me, then they'll just buy my content.
Sure. And that's why I renamed myself Abella Danger. Because, it helps the algo grow.
Oh my gosh.
Going forward, do we have any... Oh, I do have to talk about this. And you seem like you have a good sense of humor, so I have to talk about it because it's really cool. Kind of. Iron Tech doll. Links in the episode description. Make sure people check it out. You have your own replica sex doll, okay? I am looking at the website currently. You can customize the tongue of it. You can customize all the body parts. There's one thing, you can put a back hanger on it, which is like it looks like a meat hook kind of thing, like you put it in there. Now, your doll is very pretty. It is a nice representation of yourself. What was the process for that? Did they just take pictures of you and create it? Did they have to scan you? Did you have to mold yourself at all?
Yeah, it was about an 8-month process. I had to do numerous body scans, and because they wanted body scans that showed, the breakdown of like my fat percentage and muscle percentage and, but also like the scan to get the exact proportions of my body. We did molds of my hands, so like the doll has the same veining in her hands that I have, and like even same freckles on her chest. So they used a variety of scans, molds, and photos to create the doll. Yeah, it was a wild process, and then they sent me my own version, and yeah, she is life size. She weighs more than me because of how it's built.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's really incredible, and the skin is like oddly lifelike too, and hair is real, like the nails, you can change your nails, but yeah, it's really quite. I'm very impressed, and I really have enjoyed working with them. But yeah, it's very fascinating. I've never seen anything like it.
Did you was that a plateau for you? Did that feel like a next tier up? Like, oh, you're in now. You're invited into this industry.
For sure. Yeah, that was definitely, I think, one of the first major like brand deals that I ever had. And they wanted to do it with me, knowing that I wasn't even like a legitimate porn star yet. It was just with my personality as a dominatrix and model. So, yeah, it was a plateau for sure. And it was a big achievement and still is.
Can I ask, has anyone, what I assume you don't want are people who have purchased this doll sending you videos of them, performing with it? You don't want that, right?
No, I'd love to see it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's
So
like
to all the gentlemen out there that are purchasers of the Iron Tech doll,
send it. Yeah.
yes, send it to her. Just keep sending them until she tells you, please, you have to stop sending these, because it would make me really laugh if her inbox just blew up with videos of like, nice 260-pound dude just pounding away at this doll. What is the skin makeup of it? Is it some kind of latex? Is it something like that? Like,
I honestly, I don't remember exactly what it's made of, but it's...
Does it feel soft? Does it feel skin-like?
Yeah, it's very soft. It does feel skin-like. I mean, it's a little bit more, yes, rubbery than skin, but it looks just like skin. It just feels... It's a little, probably you could say sticky almost, like things kind of stick to it, but
sure.
It'd be like if I oiled up, I guess, almost. So yeah.
I'm not into bondage personally. Again, personal preference, everyone can have their own. But I do love the, what is it, latex or what is it, PVC? Is that the other
Yeah.
material they use for that? Do you like that type of stuff or no?
I do, yeah. I really like latex and how it looks on me. I just hate the whole process of getting it on,
That's what I've
playing
heard.
with it on. I hate how when I wear it, it's not breathable and sweat drips everywhere. But it looks gorgeous.
Is it like a sauna in there? Are you just like pouring sweat by the end of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, if you want to lose a quick few pounds, you better strap it on because you're going to lose all this like sweat. I mean, it's insane. But yeah, I have a lot more PVC because that's a lot easier. But yeah, it doesn't normally look as nice. But
Okay, looks wise, you're saying. I guess I can't really tell the difference looks wise, but feel wise, you're just saying it's a lot easier to use.
yeah, it's much easier to get on. It's normally like lined with a fabric on the inside, so like glide onto your body, whereas yeah, latex is just like rubber latex. So like you've got to like oil up your body to put it on, and generally you have to have like two people to put it on.
Folks, the things these women do for us, right? To give us the joy of watching their videos and potentially shooting our own video with their sex dolls and sending it to them, making sure it gets sent and delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight, Violet Voss. You know where you can find her, at Violet Voss XO. Links to everything in the episode description, as always. Violet, you were a lot of fun, and I hope nothing but the most amount of success you can make over the next few years. I hope you lay out your legacy, and I hope you get everything out of this industry that you want.
Thank you.